You can see yourselves if I do this, look. You can see me, haha! I had a really hard month, so I decided to treat myself with a trip to the library. So it is Sunday, the sun is out, it is so warm on the balcony, but the actual concrete is really cold, so I'm still inside. I'm thinking about taking a chair and some really fuzzy slippers out there. But I am still reading Homegoing. This is the book by Ya Gyasi. It's kind of a collection of short stories where each kind of person, there are two families, two sisters, and each of their descendants gets a short story about them, or not each of, but one descendant in each generation gets a short story about them. And I think it's going to end with them meeting again. One sister was the wife of the slave trader, and the other one was sold as a slave. So it's really interesting. Every single story is every character comes to life, and they're very different characters. A lot of the families, the chains get broken, so they don't actually know who their ancestors are. And a lot of the time you feel as though you really want to follow the characters that are introduced in the short stories. But each is a short story in its own right, and it does end really well, at least so far. I am about 50% through, as you can see. This is a library book. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes and where the story ends. So hopefully I'll get at least another quarter of the way through the novel today. It is a Saturday. We've already been very productive, going to the shops and hoovering and yeah, throwing stuff out and rearranging furniture. So hopefully I've just got some time to sit down and read. So it is now 9 o'clock at night, and I have in fact just finished Homegoing. This was a really good book. It had a really strong ending. As I said earlier today, it is a series of short stories, and each one is either a love story or a tragedy. There is some magical realism in here, or surrealism, I guess, and it was absolutely amazing. He fell in love with so many different characters. It is heartbreaking that you never got to see them. I felt like if the author had had the time, doing a full novel of each of these people's situation would absolutely have made sense. But yeah, I love this book, and I recommend anyone who wants to dip their toes into contemporary adult fiction, and who is interested in learning more about America or Africa, or even there are bits of Britain in here. I definitely recommend checking this one out. That is Homegoing by Ya Gyasi. Holy Lord. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah, so that's me done for the day. I'm probably not going to read again until tomorrow, so I'm just going to go to bed, to be honest. But yeah, that was a really surprisingly productive day. We got a lot done, and then I managed to read an awful lot more, so I'm kind of happy with this day. I didn't write any, but these things happen. I know my hair is a mess, and I know that the dishwasher is going so you can hear it, but it is Sunday morning. I've just showered and I've started reading Paragon. Woo. You can see yourselves if I do this, look. You can see me, haha, infinity. I've just started reading Paragon by Riley Tune. I don't know much about it, I've literally read 3 pages. It is the story of this guy who has got magical powers or supernatural powers, and in a world where if you have superpowers you have to choose whether you're going to be a villain or a hero, and it's about his decision. So far it hasn't been particularly well read, but I'm going to persevere, and I hope that the writing improves, because I've heard the story is absolutely amazing and super good. So yeah, going to give it at least a few more hours and then let you guys know what I think. It is now Sunday night, and I have read about 20% of Paragon. The writing has not improved. I really think an editor would have been a really good investment for the author. A lot of the time there are 3 different people talking in one paragraph, and there's no there's no new line to indicate who's talking. So you have to read until the bit where it says, he said, she said, the shopkeeper said. There are a lot of those as well, a lot of saids. But the premise and the world building are really interesting, and I really want to see where it goes. So I'm pressing through, but it is kind of tiring on the brain. So yeah, I'm hoping it's fine. So today was a pretty short reading day. I didn't have much time on my own, and the time that I did have was used on other things like Instagram, YouTube stuff, and helping a friend with a website. But I have reached 36% of the way through Paragon. The writing has not improved, but I am really invested in the main character. He seems like a really good guy. So just as an example of what I mean by the writing hasn't improved, let me see if I can find the passage. This is an example passage, so I don't know if you can see it, but this is all one paragraph, and I'm going to do voices, otherwise it's really hard to tell who's speaking. I grimaced. Killed who? Jen exhaled. The 2 students in the water. "Oh, you mean Dumb Student 1 and Dumb Student 2? I let out a laugh at my own pet names I had created. They didn't even try to move. Do you really want icons like that out there saving the world? Think about that." Think about that is in different quotation marks, but I know it's the same dude. I said as I wagged my finger. That's all one paragraph. That's 3 different people speaking in one paragraph, or 2 different people, but like 3 different sections of words. And it just makes it so much harder to like figure out who's talking and like get lost in the story, because your brain has to be awake and thinking the whole time, like, oh, that wouldn't make sense if that was that person saying it, so it must be the other person. And it's just really annoying. So I'm hoping that the writing style has something to do with the plot. So like some characteristic of his powers or something, I don't know. Now the thing about our main character is that their mum was a hero and their dad was a villain. And they're quite rich because their dad was a villain, which they don't hesitate to just like throw money at problems. And their girlfriend is also a villain, so they're trying to decide whether they're going to be a hero or a villain, or whether they can like forge their own path down the middle. Now I am really enjoying the story and the characters, and I just wish that the author had paid for an editor, because it's, like I said, it's really jarring and it like drags you out of the story and all they want to do is consume. But yes, so I mean, that isn't the only problem. There's a lot of he said, she said, he said, she said, she said, he said, she said. I can't even say it. And a lot of like random like double spaces, or there'll be a comma in the middle of a sentence for no reason. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed at the quality of the writing, and it is negatively impacting my reading experience, but I am really enjoying the plot. So I'm going to persevere. I'm going to try my best. If I still feel the same way, I guess I will let you guys know at the end of the book not to read it. Unless the plot is like, honestly, the plot so far has been kind of like outweighing the bad writing, which very few books do. And it does come highly recommended, so I am going to do my best to finish it. Alright, that is me for Monday. So I am 60% through Paragon. I got a lot of reading done on the bus today, which is really cool. The writing is still kind of bad, but the story's really engaging, so I'm going to finish it for sure now. Yeah, as I said, I'm over halfway, so it wouldn't be much point in DNFing it now. And you kind of get used to it after a while. It still really hurts. But I'm going to find out what's going on and stuff. You guys, I have finished Paragon. It is now completely done. The writing does not get better. I am going to do a very short review, but essentially I would not recommend that book. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite hit the mark for me in many ways. The writing was a bit off, as I said before. You know, there's like lots of that throughout the book. It isn't just that one example. There's a lot of him just like randomly putting commas or even ending sentences like suddenly for no reason. The plot would have been interesting actually if there had been a bit more build up to the kind of like conclusion, not in terms of the disappearances and murders, but in terms of the other planets. This book didn't hit the mark for me. I'm sure that some people will enjoy it, but it wasn't one for me. So I did finish it, and I'm super proud of myself for finishing it. I can't believe that I actually managed to do it, but I will not be picking up another book by that author until they are edited. I feel so mean saying that, but it's true. So I haven't decided what I'm going to start reading tomorrow. It's going to be one of my arcs because I really need to get to them. It's been over 2 weeks since they were sent to me, so I need to power through. And yeah, get them open, but I'm really excited to have another chance of picking, and then I know after that it will be either a physical book because I miss pages, or it will be The City of Brass because I am so excited to pick that book up, and I bought it last month and I knew I was gonna die if I had to wait too long because I've been hearing so many good things from booktube. So yeah, that is definitely my next pick, but the one after this one, if that makes sense. Alright, so it is Thursday, it is only 6 p.m. I thought I'd film while I still had energy today, unlike the other days. I had a really stressful day at work, so I just wanted to get this vlog out of the way. And I cannot wait to talk about my new read. It is an arc, so it's not out yet, which is my second arc of the of my YouTube career. It is Steel Hand Cold Heart by Rachel Menard. This cover is amazing. It says at the top, death must be satisfied, bonds must be broken. And honestly, this is really well written for an indie. This has amazed me. I am so impressed with the writing in this one. And the characterization is on point. The plot so far has flowed really well. So essentially, you are following a young girl, young is and girl, a young woman. She is one of the daughters of Hel, so that means that she has to murder people in order to appease Hel, the Nordic ruler of the underworld, and she kind of fails in this. I'm not giving any spoilers, don't worry. I just I checked what was available on Goodreads because I want you guys to read this book. It is so good. But yes, so she has to go and kill people on raids, and she fails to kill somebody. On the night of her celebration, because someone covers that up and like they pretend that she did fine, and they're like, you have to succeed next time, like you have no choice. So on the night of their like celebration of the raid and everything, they her arch nemesis poisons her and sells her to these 3 boys who don't really know how to sail, and they are trying to take her somewhere. She's locked in a cage. They're essentially starving her. One of the big amazing parts of this bling is that they have a steel hand which has claws, and it is fused to their flesh, so they have steel fingers instead of, well, they have Wolverine claws on top of their hand. So it's supposed to come out in May, so absolutely put this on your TBRs for May. It has been a hell of a ride. It is very Norse mythology. It is set in the time when Vikings were still about raiding places. I think it's set in a fantasy land, but obviously based on real events, and I have to, like, honestly, this book has made me so interested in her as a writer as well as the book itself. So yeah, that has been my day. I am about 25% through this book. I'm so glad I picked it as my next read because I was getting a bit kind of a bit down on indie reads, to be honest. Like the last 2 I've read weren't exceptional. I'm just so happy. I'm probably going to read a bit before bed, but I have so many chores to do, so it won't be too much, and then tomorrow is a new day. Hello my friends, it is Friday. It is the end of the working week, which means tomorrow is mine and all about reading. So I reached 60% done of Steelheart Cold Hand. Ta-da! Oops, there we go. This book is so good. I am enjoying it so much. It has such a strong female character lead, who's kind of learning how she can be, how she can be strong in different ways, and the writer is so good. I'm so happy I picked this up. I don't normally pick up indie books. That's a lie. I do normally pick up indie books, but I have been disappointed by the last couple, and this was amazing, and I'm just thrilled with it so far. So on that note, I had a really hard day, or week, or month, or year. No, I had a really hard month. So I decided to treat myself with a trip to the library. Unfortunately, they didn't have the books that I had reserved available. They will be ready probably at the end of this month, on the 25th, which is really sad, but it did mean I could catch up on the young adult fantasy that I have missed in my reading slump. So I got Throne of Glass. I'm so lucky that they have these because, like, I obviously live in a non-English speaking country and the library isn't that extensive. I also got Truth Witch. And I got the Luminate files. So this is the book that is told in a bunch of emails and messages and texts and letters and things, and I'm so excited to read this because this is such an alternative form of fiction. And the library actually had all 3, or the first 3, I don't know how many it is, the first 3 books of this, so if I enjoy it I can just go back and get 2 and 3, which is so exciting. This is the story about a couple who have just broken up on the day that the Earth is invaded, and they have to work together to try and fix it. But as I said, it's told in a bunch of like hacked emails and redacted reports and things, and I'm just so excited. It's like flash fiction gone long. So yep, I'm going to be reading this. Truth Witch is about 2 sisters, I believe, one of which has the power to tell when people are lying, and I don't know what the other one does because I haven't read the book. But this one comes highly recommended by BookTube, and I can't wait to try it out. It's supposed to be a very political thriller, which I love. And it also has a quote from Sarah J. Maas on the cover, which I never noticed before, which says an instant new classic. And of course I picked up a Sarah J. Maas book, so what are the odds? I believe this is the first, I'm really hoping it's the first, in the series. You can buy from one of the Swedish bookstores all 8 books in a really nice like hardback. Not hardback, I think they probably are in hardback, but what's it called? Collection? The box thing. Anyway, and I wanted to read at least the first 2 before I buy the entire series for a ridiculous amount of money. So I can't wait to try this as well. This is about a female assassin who goes to, I'm going to butcher this, and everyone already knows the plot. But I'm going to do my best from a brief look at the back cover and hearing about it lots of times. This is about an assassin who goes to help a king win something, and then lots of people die. Finally, I got some post as well. So 2 books that I had ordered previously arrived in the post. They are The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I actually knew someone called Amber Hardcastle, so that's really weird. But yes, The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle has come highly recommended. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I think you have to read it kind of in 1 or 2 sittings, which isn't that hard because it's only reasonably long, and I just can't wait. I'm really excited. I'm going to assume that this chess piece has something to do with it, this badly photoshopped in chess piece. But yes, I am really excited to get reading on this one. It is about a I've gone all blurry. It's about a detective who wakes up in a different body every day, and he's trapped until he can solve the murder of Evelyn Hardcastle. And in the US, this is interestingly called The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, and I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. It's because of copyright, but I don't know why that is an issue. And the other book I got was Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which is going around AuthorTube at the moment. So Brittany Wang and Bethany Cox are doing a read-along and outline-along for this book for novelists, and I kind of want to get involved. I've never outlined before. I normally just plunge in and write the book. For me, the characters come... it smells so good. The characters come first, but this is more about the plot and what has to happen at a particular point. So I'm really excited to read it. I also really enjoyed Jessica Lee's... Is it Jessica Lee? It is Jessica Lee. Jessica Lee's summary. I will link all of their channels down below. But yes, I just want to try it and see if I like it outlining, because I know that the original Save the Cat, which was about screenplays, was written by someone who wrote some of the worst movies known to actors today. But that doesn't mean that they're not necessarily good at identifying the beats, I guess. So we'll see how this one compares. And that is everything for the week. I hope you guys have had an amazing week, and if you like this video and you want me to do more vlogs, please comment, please like, please subscribe, because it gives me warm and fuzzy feelings, and it makes me want to continue vlogging and continue telling you all about my ridiculous journey and buying and taking too many books from the library, and yeah, that's about it. This is the haul. They're all huge. So Sweden has this thing about buying hardbacks. I don't know why, but everyone buys hardbacks. So this is my haul. But it is not my TBR. In fact, none of these are on my TBR. I was going to stop the video, but let me just tell you, someone's got Cirque out until the 25th of March, as I said, and I'm really annoyed because it was on my March TBR and now I can't finish it. When I reserved it, it was on the shelf, but obviously someone had it in hand before the computer system caught up, so that's fine. But yes, I'm really excited about getting started on one of these instead. I'm not sure which one I'll pick. I think probably one of Truth Witch or Throne of Glass, because they're both quite similar, and by similar I mean they're both kind of political dramas centering on a female character with magic, which is about 90% of young adult fantasy and about 60% of fantasy. So, I mean, yeah, but I would like to read a book about a boy. I know, it's crazy, but I read a lot of women. But yes, I am looking forward to starting one of these, probably, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you care which one, because I will just pick one of them at random otherwise. They smell so good. Alright, I'm going to leave you and get reading. I hope you guys have had an absolutely amazing week. Let me know what you're currently reading in the comments below, and if you've read any of these, and I'm going to assume you've at least read this one, because everyone there aren't has read this one, then let me know if you enjoyed it, which I'm going to go with yes. But if you didn't enjoy it, I would be so interested to hear why, because contrary opinions really interest me. Alright, I'm going to go get reading, maybe nap. Naps. Bye guys!